Stipulation matches always look great on television, most of the time, but what are they actually like to wrestle in? Because I've been in a few of them myself, and trust me, they're very different when you're the one in the ring. Before we get into it, quick one, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me over on Instagram at The Wrestling Comedian, and I'm also on TikTok at Wrestling Comedian. Right, let's talk stipulation matches I've been in and what they're really like. So, most of the time, I'm wrestling singles matches, tag matches, battle royals, and Royal Rumble style matches. Standard stuff, really, but every now and then you get thrown into something a bit different. First one to talk about today, the strap match, or in my case, a chain match. So if you've never seen one of these before, it's two wrestlers connected at the wrist with a strap, rope, or in my case, a 10-foot chain. I did this particular match for Rumble Wrestling Promotions, a great promotion in Kent, by the way. Definitely check them out. I wrestled Sid Manelli both times, once in Maidstone and the other at the Woodville Hall in Gravesend. A brilliant venue, always packed out. And here's the thing. It completely changes how you wrestle when you're in the chain match. You can't just lock up normally, move freely, and create distance because you're literally tied together. Everything becomes close quarters, physical, and awkward at times. And when you take a bump, you're also thinking, don't land on the chain, don't land on the chain. Before these matches, I watched old footage for ideas, Wrestle, chain and strap matches, and the Texas bull rope matches, like Eddie Guerrero versus JBL from the Great American Bash 2004. There's a great spot where Eddie rolls out one side of the ring to pull JBL into the turnbuckle post. So picking ideas up like that, it's a really great thing to do before going into a match like that. The next stipulation I'm going to talk to you guys about, ladder matches. Now, I've only done a handful of these. The first time was back in 2014 at Butlins when Brian Dixon revamped the show around the Money in the Bank concept. So what the show became that season was a series of qualifying matches and then a main event, a four-man ladder match. And here's a random fact for you. It was actually Sam Adonis, brother of WWE commentator Corey Graves, who suggested to Brian to put me in that ladder match. So cheers for that, Sam. I was wrestling at the time as my masked alter ego, and the thing I learned about ladder matches is they're all about structure. You're constantly teasing the climb, building up to moments, and timing everything because the audience knows what's coming, but it's all about the journey to get there. And also trying not to fall off a ladder in front of a packed crowd, which is always a bonus. My most recent ladder match was in 2022 for Rumble Wrestling Promotions at the Medway Park Sports Centre in Gillingham. That was my first singles ladder match, which is completely different from the multi-man challenge because now you're not sharing responsibility amongst four, you're building the whole thing, just the two of you, and that's a learning experience. So ladder matches can be fun, of the painful kind, but they're obviously different, but very, very structured. And finally, a steel cage match. I've had one in my career, and that was at the Stowers Centre in Ashford, again, for Rumble Wrestling Promotions last year. And logistically, this is where British wrestling is very different to what you see on television, because in WWE or AEW, the cage usually lowers from the ceiling, but in British venues, that's not happening. So what actually happens is the crowd leaves during the interval. The cage gets built and takes typically around 30 to 45 minutes. Then the last matches on the show are held inside the cage. And because of that, you usually get 2 to 3 cage matches back to back, which is not ideal because there's only so much you can do without repeating spots and moments inside the cage. I was lucky enough for my cage match to go first after the interval against Sid Manelli. And I'll be honest, the first time stepping into a cage like that, you feel it straight away. When you hit the ropes, you know the cage is there. Everything feels tighter, just more enclosed. For the finish to that match I got set up for a power slam. He slipped down the back and ended up on the apron near the cage door. I had big booted him and he fell up the cage to win. Simple finish, but it worked really well. So those are some of the stipulation matches I've worked in. And the big takeaway is they can look great on TV some of the times, but they completely change how you wrestle, how you structure the match, and how you perform. And sometimes the simplest matches are the hardest ones to get right, but these test you in completely different ways. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. What is your favourite stipulation match? And if you want more behind the scenes wrestling stories, you know what to do. I'll see you on the next one.